Hi, welcome to the Louie File. Today I wanted to share something with you. You know, a lot of people have this idea that life is full of making good and or evil choices, and that when it all is said and done, we're going to be judged according to the fact that we performed more good than we performed evil. They have this idea of scales, that one day we're going to stand before God and He's going to weigh us out and He's going to say, you know, you were a really rotten scoundrel for the first part of your life, but later on in life you made up for it by giving to charity and being patient with your elderly parents, or you know, whatever it was. And it's as if God is weighing us based on our deeds. You know, this to me, I think, is the core of the big lie. You know, way back in the Garden of Eden, when God created man and put him in this garden, He told him right away, He said, you can eat of any tree but this one right here, and it's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. He said, because the day you eat of it, you will surely die. And then you just jump ahead one chapter and you see Eve standing before this very tree, and the serpent is saying to her, you shall surely not die. He says, God knows that the day you eat of this, your eyes will be open and you will be as God, knowing good and evil. So from that moment on, when they bit into that lie, mankind has lived their lives deceived, thinking that they can perform good and avoid evil. You know, knowing good and evil, I think what he's really saying there is that we can know what's good and what's evil, and we can do the good and avoid the evil, and everything will be okay. Well, this simply isn't true. According to the rest of the scripture, as you read, if you look in Ephesians chapter 2, you see that the Apostle Paul tells us there, he says, you were dead in your trespasses and sins. You know, and that's a blanket statement to all of humanity, because all of humanity came into this existence, came into this realm through Adam, the fallen man, the man that did in fact die because he ate of that forbidden tree. And when we talk of death, we're talking of separation from God. We're talking of being broken off from the one true source of life. And but that's not to say that we were not joined to another. You see, in Ephesians 2, after it tells us that we were all dead in our trespasses and sins, it says that we used to walk according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that is now at work in the sons of disobedience. You see, we broke ourselves off from God. We became separated from God, but we became alive to the prince of the power of the air. We became joined in a union to this spirit that works in the sons of disobedience, which is death according to God, because we're separate from Him. You know, Jesus told the religious leaders of His day, He said, you diligently search the scriptures because in them you think you have life, but these scriptures testify of me, and yet you refuse to come to me for life. You see, Jesus didn't deal with people on a level of this one's good and that one's evil. He saw people as God sees people, and that is, this one's alive or this one's dead. He said in John 10, He said, the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but I've come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. See, He didn't come here to make bad people good. Jesus Christ did not come here to make bad people good. He came here to make dead people live. See, He came bringing the life of God. See, in the garden there were two trees, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, forbidden tree, and the tree of life. The implication here is that tree of life is the very life of God that was meant to inhabit mankind. You see, Adam chose the wrong tree. He should have eaten of the tree of life, and we wouldn't have had what we call the fall. You know, in Galatians, let me look this verse up real quick here. You know, living, trying to do good and avoid evil is essentially living by law, and that's what that tree kind of represented. In Galatians, the Apostle Paul made a statement that's astounding to me. In Galatians 3:21, the second part of that verse, it says, "For if a law had been given which was able to impart life, then righteousness would indeed have been based on law." See, even the law itself was not really given to make us do good and avoid evil. That we misunderstood the purpose of the law all along because we were deceived. We were cut off from the life of God, so therefore we bit into the lie that we could do good and avoid evil. So when God gave the law, the commandments to his people, Israel, and it said, do not lie, do not steal, do not murder, do not commit adultery, and so on, these folks, and us included until we're awakened and enlivened, we, and like they, think, well, I can do this. I can not lie, and I can not steal. I, independently of the life of God flowing through me, can do these things. See, that's the mind of the enemy. That is not the mind of God. God is looking at us saying, you are separate from me. I need you to come home. You know, in fact, even the prodigal story in Luke 15, the prodigal son that went out and blew his living and found himself in the hog pen, you know, it says that when he came to himself, you know, he was awakened and he said, I will arise and go to my father. So he made his way back to his father, and what did the father say? You know, the older brother said, what is going on here? And the father told the older brother about the younger. He said, this son of mine who was dead, but he's alive again. You see, he didn't say he'd been a bad boy and now he's doing good. He said he was dead. See, the father considered him and saw him as dead because he was separated from him. He had no union, no communion, no relationship to this younger son, which means he was dead. This is why Jesus told us in John chapter 3, or told Nicodemus, you know, he said, you must be born again. Nicodemus came to Jesus at night. He was a teacher, and he was coming to Jesus, and he addressed Jesus as teacher, and he said, good teacher. See, Jesus heard what Nicodemus was saying. Nicodemus was asking Jesus to teach him something. Give me the latest book. Give me the hot new Christian teaching that will help me to live this life that you're living. He said, I know you must be from God because you wouldn't be able to do what you do. See, Nicodemus saw the life of God in Jesus, and he thought that he could obtain that life by something he could learn or something he could do. And Jesus' response to him was, oh no, Nicodemus, you must be born again. He said, you need the life of God from above to inhabit you again, like it was in the beginning when before Adam fell. See, Nicodemus didn't need more lessons. He didn't need more laws and more rules and more education. He needed the very life of God within him. So that's my story today. You know, the big lie is that we can do good and avoid evil. I hope this straightens you out on that. I know it straightened me out on it when I started to see that Jesus Christ did not come here to make bad people good. He came here to make dead people live. And I hope that he has enlivened you. If not, just cry out to him. The Bible says, whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. So just tell Jesus you need him today. And he's a God of his word, and he will move into you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your time today.